Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming with more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Let's continue down with our list, shall we? We have a scenario called the Mutation Chamber, which I'm looking forward to finding. Not seeing it on the very top because the search feature is amazing. There it is. I think that's the one. It didn't give me I didn't get a username here, so I'm assuming this is correct. By Arskin03. After the failed attempt of a biomedical company in the USA to create a virus that could kill cancerous growths, a highly unstable strain of it got released from the lab and is capable of wreaking havoc in the modern world, as it was genetically modified to be a super resistant to any form of antibiotics. That seems like an oversight. Can you control this rapidly mutating virus to destroy the world? Rapidly mutating, you say. Okay. Lots of different customization. I like that. It's got a story, a unique playstyle. This scenario is hard, and you'll need to develop a strategy for it if you want to have a chance at winning. Definitely can be beaten on casual and normal, maybe not brutal or mega brutal. Well, I guess we're going to find out. If you manage to win on any of the difficulties that are not tested yet, please contact them. Alrighty. Well, I like a bit of a challenge here. I'm not going to try for it on mega brutal since that has not been tested. But let's see what is involved. A difficult scenario, you say? Well, since it is apparently going to have a lot of mutations, I do think that going for Creationist probably makes a lot of sense. We may not need symptostasis if we're going to get a lot of mutation. Maybe we want to go for something like the transstasis or even the pathostasis, just so we can get cheaper transmissions and abilities, and we'll let the mutation take us to victory in symptostasis. Let's start with the transstasis, since this is usually a good thing no matter what you do, but I'm guessing patho could work if there are abilities to try and control the mutation chance. This is called Hubris. Of course, I'm trying to put together a strategy without actually knowing anything about the scenario, but there we go. Ah, crap. After an accident in the labs of the biomedical company BioHeal Inc., one of their strains of virus with the purpose of curing cancer infected one of the scientists. As a specific strain once infected a cancerous growth, the unstableness of the tumor carried over to the genetics of the virus. You start in the USA. As this disease was man-made, scientists have an idea of how to cure it, but due to its mutation rate, its cure will be developed slower as time goes on, and its antibiotic resistances are high. Although the mutation may help you in that field, they will limit your ability to control the virus. All right. So does this mean we start off with a whole load of drug resistance? Because that would be very nice. Ooh, wow. Okay, I see that there's already a load of stuff to start off with. That's pretty fun. Transmissions. Wowzers. All right, let's go through this, shall we? Water. Okay. Air. Okay. Snow. Really? Hang on. Snow crystals, increasing infectivity, especially in cold climates. That is surprisingly effective. Okay. Insects for the hot, birds for the land, livestock for the rural. We have blood for the poor, I assume. Hang on. Yes, poor regions. Dust. Survives on dust particles for some time, increasing infectivity in wealthy regions. Okay, but we already have drug resistance, so do I care? And droplets. Inside droplets of saliva, good in the urban environment. So pretty much everything is covered in this very colorful transmission tree. Love it. Symptoms. We have anemia for hypoxia, and for the arrhythmias, an irregular heartbeat can cause an inconsistent supply of oxygen to the host's tissues. So between hypoxia and arrhythmias, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of blood oxygen level issues. Whoa, okay. Lots of abilities here. Yeah, glad I didn't go for the symptostasis. What do we have here? So we have 2 levels of drug resistance and 2 levels of genetic hardening. We also do have access to a genetic reshuffle. Cold and heat resistance, okay. Nervous system infection. Oh, okay. So there's actually a lot of different gating mechanisms for different symptoms. We have respiratory, immune, nervous, and muscular, and circulatory. This is just giving me vibes of Bio Inc., you know, having the different subsystems of the human body, which is kind of fun. I miss that game. I wish they had custom scenarios for that, because I would totally play a lot more of it. Anyway, besides the point, so yes, if your mutation's getting out of control, if you don't evolve a new gating mechanism, then in theory, you can control the mutation before it gets too out of control, but there we go. So we do also have RNA restabilization, reorganizes its RNA in a way that its structure is much harder to break, reduces mutation chance, but increases cure research. I guess the RNA structure is harder to break, but I was thinking it'd be harder to break the code, but no, it actually makes it easier to cure. Okay. Unstable genetics level 1 and 2, loads and loads, mutation chance cannot devolve. So already, I'm going to say, pretty good. There's a lot of beautiful customization going on here. I like it. I also like the color choices. It's just it's very aesthetically pleasing. A cure for cancer. A relatively young but innovative biotech company with products such as Viagra but without side effects announced a miracle cure for cancer. The science behind the miracle cure. The scientists working on this endeavor claim they were able to genetically modify a virus to specifically attack cancer cells. Worries rise, though, within the scientific community as people worry whether the virus can infect healthy cells. There's no way this could ever go wrong. Oh, it went wrong. Accident at labs of BioHeal Inc. A viral video is circulating the internet of a BioHeal lab in Silicon Valley being evacuated after what is an accident occurred. Citizens of San Francisco worry as they speculate what could have happened inside of the lab. So I noticed we already got some mutation despite the fact that only 13 people are infected. That's concerning. BioHeal lab in quarantine. Hey, I'm in quarantine myself. The Silicon Valley lab of BioHeal, which got evacuated 3 days ago, has been quarantined for unknown reasons. Citizens of San Francisco are protesting as they demand to find out the reason behind this unusually high response to the accident. I mean, yeah, if the government ever reacts with that level of vigor, the government's usually pretty slow to do about anything, so if they react that quickly and that heavily on a biolab like that, you should be afraid. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Heart failure. The host's heart doesn't pump as strongly as it should. This will cause the body to hold in salt and water, which can cause swelling and a shortness of breath. That makes sense, actually. Your body retains too much water and swells too much, it might mess with your respiratory system. So, yeah, we've already mutated both of these, so I definitely do not want to unlock the next gate. Not quite yet. We definitely do want to get a lot more transmission. Unfortunately, we're a little bit low on our DNA. Escaped pathogen. The virus that was promised to help us cure cancer has reportedly escaped the quarantine facilities. Though public health officials are concerned about the risk of the pathogen poses, officials at BioHeal assure us that it cannot infect humans. I think 82 people would disagree. Scientists working on escaped virus found sick. See, this is just one of those foot and mouth disease kind of things right there, you know? It's like you say something, you make a statement in front of the world, and then like within 24 hours you find out you're wrong, and you feel like an idiot on the internet. I'm just saying. One of the scientists working on developing the virus that recently escaped the quarantine facilities has been found sick. Public health officials and organizations panic over what could be a pandemic never faced before by humans. All right, let's go for some air transmission because I would like to get on an airport out of the USA ASAP. 6 scientists infected with unrelated pathogen. The scientist that was found sick after working with what now escaped virus was diagnosed with an infection unrelated to it. Scientists said that the genetic code of the virus that sickens the scientist differs too much from the escaped pathogen. That's just the government trying to reassure the public so the stock markets don't crash or anything, you know? It's like, oh yeah, he's sick, it's not with that. He's just sick with something totally, it's just the flu. He's just got a common flu, that's all it is. 6 scientists actually infected with feared virus. Man, you guys just need to stop talking because you're being found out pretty quickly here. The scientist diagnosed the disease unrelated to the virus he was working on is actually infected by it. This deeply worries public health authorities as the instability of the virus will make efforts to develop a cure extremely hard. Let's go for some water transmission. Again, anything to get me out of the USA would be great. USA under lockdown. After the failed attempt to limit the virus's spread outside of the city of San Francisco, the USA has been locked down in an attempt at limiting the virus spread at a global level. This, in turn, is expected to slow down the economy. Ooh, we actually have closed down our borders completely. Well now, okay, so we did get autoimmune hemolytic anemia. I don't know what that is. Let's take a quick look-see. So, autoimmune... Okay, the overactive immune system destroys the body's red blood cells, causing a severe case of anemia. Internal hemorrhaging. Okay, very lethal. Don't know if we want that right now. So, what this means is we definitely need to get out of the USA, probably in the form of birds. I'm thinking birds to get us over the land borders is probably the only way that we're going to get out of here. Try to get into Mexico, spread there, and then get across the world. BioHeal CEO flees the scene. The coward. The CEO of the company that creates Huvis is... I just like the name Huvis, by the way. It's like Hubert. Huvis. It's cute. Is fleeing the San Francisco Bay Area as witnesses say they saw his private jet take off. His current location and whether he has been infected by the virus are unknown. Ooh, are we going to get a little spore burst? And it looks like we did. He fled to Angola. And now you've doomed the entire continent of Africa. Thank you for that one. Let's go for the insects for the hot climate. So that should be fine. So USA, we're just going to be nice and quarantined in here, but that shouldn't be an issue. We got into both Canada and Mexico regardless. So we're going to be just fine. A little bit slowed down, but not by too much. It just means we can't take advantage of the airports, the seaports of the USA. All right. Cold climates, we could do this. It would help us right now in Canada, so I guess I'll go ahead. We still have a lot of mutation going on here, and there's apparently a lot more available than I thought. Brain aneurysms, okay, and then we have leukemia, a form of blood cancer in which a white blood cell becomes malignant and multiplies inside a bone marrow. Acute bronchitis, and a heart attack. My God, that is way more lethality than I think I know what to do with. You know what's funny is when the global pandemic that cannot be named was currently going around, some of my coworkers in my job know that I work in no small part on things like Plague Inc. And they were asking me, like, when do we need to be worried? And the first thing that I told them is when we see evidence that it has crossed, like, the cross-species barriers and you start seeing birds are getting infected and spreading across land borders, that's when you need to be afraid. Amazing how this has actually worked out. Anyway, acute bronchitis. Okay, the United States is almost entirely dead already. We may want to consider reducing some of this lethality, and I'm going to need to go for some RNA stabilization just to slow down the mutation chance. Otherwise, we can devolve this, but it's probably going to come right back. If we devolved this, that would be a fair bit of lethality gone. A lot more here. Let's do that. Can't quite afford the next one because we did not get symptostasis, unfortunately. So, still spreading in places like Angola, but we are killing way too fast. A heart attack is highly unfortunate. Let's go ahead and devolve that. Yeah, just way more lethality than I think I know what to do with at this point. We're going to go ahead and have to spend a lot of DNA trying to keep this under control, just enough to actually get enough spread to go somewhere else in the world. Right, that's what we're looking for. There's the brain aneurysm once again. Okay. But we did get into Japan in the Hon. We are spreading pretty rapidly in Mexico as well, starting to spread a little bit faster in places like Africa. This is a weirdly paced scenario. Definitely tougher. They're not wrong. You need to come up with a bit of a strategy for this one. They are right. They are completely right. Do we slow it down even further? That does risk more cure progress, but I'm going to go ahead and do this just to try and slow this down because we're going to waste so much DNA just trying to keep the lethality under control that ultimately that's going to slow us down significantly more than the cost of the RNA restabilization. Obviously, we're worried about the cure, but I'm going to have to take that risk. Do we want to go for the bird water? I think we're going to go for bird 2 for more land-based transmission. There we go. That helps. That helps quite a bit. Let's go for the... We already got for the snow. Never mind. Water 2, yes. And then we go for some cold resistance to spread faster in the north. Obviously, worried about getting into places like Greenland, especially with this much lethality. They may feel tempted to close down their ports a little bit faster than I like. What's this? Mutation hell. The mechanics that the pathogen has to counter mutations completely fail, increasing the mutation chance and research speed significantly. So I assume this basically undoes the RNA restabilization, which, interestingly enough, you cannot devolve. That's an interesting choice. Okay, so if you want to get the mutation chance back, you have to go for this. Fascinating. Extreme bioaerosol could be helpful. I'm going to go for some livestock to spread faster in Russia. Could go for blood, could go for droplets, good for the urban environments, dust for more wealthy countries. Yeah, I'm going to go for more rural, though. We are currently in Russia, so the faster we spread there, the better. What's this? Extreme zoonosis. More mutation chance, good in rural and urban, more cross-country transmission, all of which is good, but I'm going to go for the extreme bioaerosol instead to try and get on some more boats. Fear is slowing down the economy. I mean, the United States made a pretty good effort at stopping the virus from going very far, right? They certainly tried as heck. I mean, they just jumped straight to shutting down their entire country. That is a laudable effort. However, it did not work, so you're all going to have to die. Let's get rid of that heart attack right there. Still spreading pretty rapidly throughout the world. Worried about Greenland. What else are we doing as far as islands we're missing? The Caribbean would be a problem because there aren't a lot of boats that can get into the Caribbean. Oh, actually, that's a huge problem. Let's go for some heat resistance. How are we going to get around that? What other countries go into the Caribbean besides the USA? Are there any? That is usually my most reliable way of getting into the Caribbean. There might be one other country that gets into it, but I do not remember it. Let's go for some blood transmission just to spread a little bit faster in places like Africa. I mean, we're spreading pretty well. I don't really have to worry too much about the lethality, like, carrying me to victory. Let's get rid of the brain aneurysm. The funny thing is, I'm not sure that I have to go for any of these because I think we're going to get enough lethality just with what we've got. My question is there any other way of getting into the Caribbean? And we're still killing too fast, so I'm going to have to slow this down even further. Because if there is another country that can get in, it hasn't done so yet. The ports have shut down over here. So we may need to hope that there is a way of getting some sort of a spore burst. I'm going to go for respiratory system. High-density areas, viral pneumonia, sneezing, pulmonary fibrosis. Actually, okay, maybe you do want to go for some of these because it looks like they open up a lot of potential for the mutation chance to not give you lethal options. Pulmonary edema. Immune system, probably not. Nervous system, probably not. Muscular system, probably not. Let's see. Extreme zoonosis. I'm going to grab all of this and see if we get some sort of a super transmission. Extreme cross-human infection. Good for the urban, wealthy, and poor. Then we have Maxime Accomodata. Greatly increases infectivity in every climate and every region. Well, that sounds good, but I don't think it's going to help me with what I'm looking for. So every country has definitely been infected, but there's no way to get into the Caribbean. Okay. So, what is the best way to get around this, do we think? I think one thing we could do differently is go for some abilities earlier on so that the mutation chance actually gives me more transmission rather than too much lethality, and then maybe we can skip the RNA stabilization entirely. What I'm concerned with is maybe we have to get out of the USA before they even shut down, and I'm not sure that's an option. I need to do a little bit of research to make sure that there is another port that can get into the Caribbean, because if there's not, there's a problem. Obviously, the author has play-tested. It can be done. I've just got to figure out the trick. So let me first find out if there's another country that can get into the Caribbean, and that might give me some clues. I think it might be Mexico, but let's find out. Okay, confirmed that Mexico can get into the Caribbean. Supposedly a boat from the UK can as well, which seems a little bit odd, but all right. So let's go ahead and immediately unlock some other options and pray that the mutation actually works to my benefit rather than going immediately for the lethality. We'll see if that works. So we get some arrhythmias going on there. Okay. Getting some DNA. Obviously, we're going to go through all the stories, not worrying about any of this right now. I might want to go for the dust for the wealthy countries rather than go for the droplets with the urban, because I'm hoping we're going to get into places like Europe pretty quickly. Maybe we have to get somewhat lucky with the CEO fleeing into the right kind of country as well. I'm not too sure. So, 6 scientists has been infected. I don't think they're going to shut this down until we have progressed sufficiently through the story. So maybe it's kind of a race against time. Like, maybe going for, like, water early on actually would make a difference. I really don't know for sure. We are mutating some things, but not quite what I was hoping for. Could unlock, let's say, the muscular system and so on. We actually got heart failure rather early on. That is unfortunate. They've already shut down the USA. Okay. So we're going to have to go for things like birds. We did get into Central Africa once again. Since we can't get out of the USA, I'm going to go ahead and unlock a new set of symptoms and try to get this to work for me. The mutation. We get weakness. Okay. Again, anything that slows down that excess of lethality would be helpful. A lot more severity than I know what to do with, though. I'm going to go ahead and grab probably the insects we spread faster in Africa, and also hopefully we can get into Mexico and spread there since it is considered to be hot. We need water transmission and urban transmission, basically. Those are the things that I'm looking for. Water, that'll help. Okay, we've hit critical mass rather quickly in the United States. So far, have not hit any of that lethality. That's good. We could go for nervous system and stuff. I'm not sure if immune or nervous system will help me or make things worse. Those feel like fairly severe options, but we'll go for it. Let's go for some air transmission since Mexico is also considered to be arid. Okay, so we're just doing fine there. Still looking okay over here. How are we going to pull this one off? If we go for more dust, that could be helpful. Mexico is not considered to be poor. I think I'm going to go for the droplets for more urban transmission, trying to hit critical mass here as quick as we can to get into the Caribbean. Obviously, still need to be worrying about places like Greenland, though. Can't overlook that. Let's get rid of the brain aneurysm. Like so. It's going to cost me a little bit of DNA, obviously, but I still want to be spreading without shutting down too many ports too preemptively. Okay, so what can we go for next? Let's go for Let's think about that. Let's think about that. Where are we infecting right now? We are in the UK. And actually, the UK just sent a boat to the Caribbean, so I guess that's confirmed. All right, so that's done. So Greenland, we got into Russia. If we're in Russia, that means I need rural, because we need to spread there to try and get into Greenland. I'm hoping that we will still be able to get into all the other islands. Obviously, going for things like water, too, would certainly help with that. Russia is considered to be humid, so we're going to go for that, and then some more rural transmission just to spread this as fast as we can. Brain aneurysm is back. I'm sorry. No, no, no. We need to get rid of you. Could get things like pneumonia. That would certainly be very helpful for me right now. Let's go for the snow for the cold resistance. Kind of innate, spread a little faster in there. We need to go as fast and hard as we can in Russia now. So I'm going to go for some cold resistance to speed that along. Okay, we got into Iceland. Looking good so far. Most of the islands are missing Madagascar, the Philippines, New Guinea. And then everything else could probably be solved just from land transmission from birds. Right now, the cure is still extremely difficult, so I don't need to go for RNA restabilization to increase the cure research speed. Right now, we're okay. We're going to go for some more cold resistance and, again, spread as fast as we can. If we can't get in through Russia, then Norway is a good second option. Let's see what else we want here. Air 2, if we can get to that extreme bioaerosol, that wouldn't be so bad. Let's go ahead and do that. Pick it up now. Again, more ship transmission options. Viral pneumonia, very good. It's going to speed us up a little bit more in places like Russia. Okay, doing fine, doing fine. What else do we want to do? Let's see. So as far as symptoms, we have options for things like pulmonary edema. Sneezing is still there. That's a pretty good amount of infectivity. Without too much severity, I'm tempted to grab this now, and I will. So this is leading to some other lethal options, so I need to be cautious. Let's go for the nervous system. Insomnia, okay, that could be helpful. Just trying to open up other options. Let's actually just go ahead and grab the immune system as well, and that leads to rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so again, more options for the mutation to work for us rather than against us. All right, so we're getting critical mass pretty quickly here in Russia. We did get into Greenland. We have the Madagascar and the Philippines to go. We need to spread faster in places like Saudi Arabia, Southeast Asia. We've already got things like insects. We could go for blood. That would help. And birds might help as well. Let's do that. That leads to extreme zoonosis, rural and urban areas, but I don't really want more mutation chance than we already have. Heat resistance could help. I'm going to do it and see if that's enough. Again, I'm not worrying myself about any symptoms. Mutation is going to get me the rest of the way. If we can get into the Philippines right now, that's the only country we did, and there we go. All right, so now is the point where we just start unleashing heck. So anything with lots of mutation chance is going to be what I want. So we're going to go for the extreme zoonosis, we're going to go for the blood. I don't think either of these give me mutation chance, so we're going to ignore that for the moment. Muscle cramps, okay. Should be getting plenty of DNA all of a sudden. Now, we could go for the RNA restabilization and try to get to mutation hell. And I'm going to do exactly that. That caught, 39 DNA. All right, so temporarily they're going to work really fast on the cure. But I'm hoping that by picking this up, we're going to get an absolute stinking ton of mutations. That said, we're actually getting a really insane amount of lethality regardless of the mutations. So far, that has not proven to be a problem. Let's go ahead and grab leukemia. Sure, just ramp that up even faster. Every person has been infected at this point. It's just a matter of how fast can we get that lethality and can we slow down that cure? And the answer is a resounding yes. There's mutation hell. The virus has become so unstable that every time you infect someone, 50% of the virus RNA changes. The mutation chance increases up significantly. There's rheumatoid arthritis. Now, unfortunately, most people are dead, so there's actually not a lot of opportunity for any additional mutations. So that's already more or less done. Let's go ahead and do a couple of genetic reshuffles to buy myself a little bit of extra score, but that seems to have worked just stinking fine. All right. Now, granted, this is still only played on normal difficulty, but we seem to have figured out a strategy pretty darn quickly here. I feel pretty good about that. Multiple sclerosis mutates for free, and the world is dead. 338 days, I was still able to beat this within 1 year. I feel fairly accomplished about that. Now, this on Mega Brutal I could see being a really serious challenge, but I'm very curious to see if anyone can actually beat it. 338 days, 40% cure progress, 70,949 points, and 3 stars over L. That's a pretty fun little scenario right there. I like the challenging aspect. I like the story, and I like kind of the little curveballs it throws at you, like suddenly locking down the USA. So you kind of have to reset everything. Now, killing off the USA as quickly as you do actually slows down the cure research quite a bit, but there we go. So yeah, this is all about managing that mutation chance and trying to balance lethality while figuring out a strategy that can actually get you around the world. We figured it out, but that's a really fun little puzzle and challenge. I like it. That's a really good scenario. Dang well done. Big props to you. I like that. That almost reminds me of an Indigo Phoenix style of scenario. Maybe not quite as creative and game-breaking, but really creative nonetheless. I like it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.